What's up, everybody? It is Friday in California, and we are, of course, getting our secondary comic channel here off the ground. Also streaming to unauthorized. If anybody is there on unauthorized, I'll check in on that in just a moment. But I just wanted to do a quick stream and just kind of hang out for a little bit, talk about comics. Let's see who's in the chat here. We've got a couple of people. Welcome to the show. Yeah, having some fun here. Yesterday, I was showing off on my main channel my Alex Toth Zorro collection here. This is a hardcover collection, of course, very hard to find at this point, out of print. Beautiful stuff. And they followed this up by doing the Zorro full color other comics also. Pretty fun. Good books all the way around. And I also announced that I'm going to be doing some Zorro content myself, which is going to be on my Subscribestar. Hello, Anonymity T2, Perrette, how you doing? Squibs, good to see you. We're not monetized over on this channel yet, so we're just going to be hanging out, talking about books, and maybe selling some books too. So I also picked up this week, I picked up Superman Camelot Falls. This is Kurt Busiek's run with Carlos Pacheco. It's pretty short stuff. Should probably read this weekend. I picked up the X-Force Armageddon Now Epic Collection, which is from 98 to 2000, goes up to X-Force 100. And I picked up Generation X, The Secrets of M. Now, this era of the X, this is when things get really bad at Marvel. Marvel cut a lot of their people, really cheaped out things. This is 97 to 2000, right after their bankruptcy. Bad stuff. But I'm going to read it anyway, because I don't know. Something about that era, even though it's like not the best, it's better than all the crap that they come out with these days. You know what I'm saying? I'm also in the middle of reading. This is Skin in the Game. It's a philosophy / business book by Nassim Taleb. This comes from the Castalia Library right here. So I get a little bit of deep philosophy in with my comic book reading. It's fun stuff. I just finished up. I'll be doing a review of the Spider-Man India. I picked up this trade paperback. This is getting kind of hard to find because of the Spider-Verse movie that came out. I just wanted to see what was going on with it. And this is a Panini Comics version because it that only came out in England. You can see the pound marker right there. So that's what's going on with the Spider-Verse stuff. Oh my gosh. I'll get into that. So Spider-Verse stuff, of course, is getting pretty popular right now. Everybody's looking it up because of the movie. 97 2000 was crazy. My shop, where I had a sub at, quit buying new comics. That sucks. I actually bought a comic store in 2000 and ran one myself for about a year and a half, and didn't make enough money to really want to keep doing that. It was rough. The comic business is pretty tough. Hashtag comics broke me. But if you guys know that reference, that's a rabbit hole you might want to go down on Twitter. But yeah, so the Spider-Verse stuff's interesting. So I started out on this by reading Spider-Man 2099 Omnibus, which I did a review on the channel. You can go look at that. And I was very happy that's finally been collected. I like Peter David's writing quite a bit. He did a wonderful job on Spider-Man 2099. Then I went to the Spider-Gwen Epic Collection. Hey, what's going on, Pablo Diablo? Good to see you. Yep. I don't know about notifications. Are you hit to notify on this channel? Because this is a different channel. So thank you. We got a lot of new subs who've come over the last few days. So I appreciate you guys for being here on our road to 1,000 subs. So if you want to share this out on social media so that your friends can see this, and of course, get our comic channel going, I would appreciate it. Yeah. Cool. So I did Spider-Man 2099, Spider-Gwen Epic Collection. I've reviewed both of those. And then I decided to read Spider-Man India because that's part of that. But part of what's interesting on this is where this goes. There was a Spider-Man Noir complete collection. And they did a complete collection of this at Marvel, but look at the prices on this. The complete sets just for the comics are out of control, but the complete collection, where's the actual collection? Here it is, the complete collection, the which is just a trade paperback, is going for $150 on eBay. Like that is ridiculous content right there. Here's just like a complete set of one of it's a couple of different miniseries. And look at how expensive they are just because they haven't reprinted these enough, obviously. And I've never read this before, but I wanted to read this because this is not even the stuff anymore. Wanted to read this because, of course, Spider-Man Noir showed up in the first Spider-Verse movie. And I didn't buy it back then. The complete collection was not that expensive back then. I really really stupid of me to miss that. But yeah, it's just because the film's just out, and that's it. So the other next thing I might read is this Miles Morales omnibus. I'll go to Amazon for this. I'm not big into the replacement characters. Miles Morales omnibus. So I'm not big into the replacement characters, but maybe I'll read it. So there's a couple different things here. The first one is this one. It actually starts out Miles Morales Ultimate Spider-Man Omnibus, and you see that again. This is out of print and expensive, and I have it. I have it. It just said I did the Coom thing back in the day, and I just bought it because it said Spider-Man on it, and it's not actually bad as far as it goes. I mean, yeah, it's pandering on the race shit, but on the other hand, Sarah Pacelli's art's really good, and Bendis actually, when he's back in this day, actually like did some decent stories. They're a little bit of rehashy of Spider-Man stuff, where it's like just Miles Morales fighting against the Spider-Man villains. But I don't know. I might read this and do a review of it because I'll get a lot of clicks on it, and then sell this for a giant profit because you can see how much it's going for at this point. The movie speculation's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Did they change? And then there's other omnibuses now, of course, that are out there. So that's on that front. But yeah, so you can sell a lot of this stuff for a profit, which is kind of interesting. Then next week, like what I'm really excited about happening next week is actually Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips have a new graphic novel out. And I follow all their stuff. I'm going to do an overview. I have every single one of their hardcover collections. And so I can do an overview on that, which I'll be doing once this is out, probably, because I'll be able to show every one of them. And this is a new one. Very interesting cover. Very elicits like some classic sort of Shakespearean vibe to it here. But what is it? So here it is in Europe on a business trip. Jonathan Webb can't sleep. Instead, he finds himself wandering the night in a strange foreign city with his new friend, mysterious and violent Rainer, as his guide. Rainer shows Jonathan a hidden world of the night, a rule without rules or limits. When the fun turns dangerous, he finds himself trapped in the dark. Will he ever get home? So that's kind of fun. Jekyll and Hyde story. Pretty neat stuff right here. Night Fever. And so all their stuff here is always like on this, like it's like a gritty pulp noir stuff always. And I love Sean Phillips' art, and I love Ed Brubaker's storytelling always. Does a wonderful job. I could never write like this. It's a very different style. It's a little too dark and gritty for what I could do personally. Yeah, interesting stuff right there. I also found this morning, I found a couple of interesting things this morning on top of this that, all right. So I found this because I was perusing for my monthly buys, and Robotech Archives. So I've never been like into Robotech or anything like that. I guess it's like a military science fiction thing, but it actually focuses on characters with romance between the main character and like some pop star. Interesting stuff. And this is coming out from Titan Comics. But I noticed like what drew me to this is Mike Barron's writing it, wrote this one. This is The Masters. And I don't know much about this at all. It's never collected before. The Macross saga is over 15 years have passed since the war with the Zentradi. Peace comes to an end when the Robotech Masters attack. And it's 11 issues. And this is, of course, by our good friend Mike Barron, who's a great writer. So you love Robotech. So should I get this then? Do you guys recommend that I should get this? I remember that book. I love Robotech. People are saying this it's probably good. My least favorite generation, says Perrette. I don't know. I mean, so I'm interested in getting this because Mike Barron. There's a whole slew of Robotech archives in here. This is if you go into Titan Comics, and you have all these different Robotech archives, Macross Saga, volume 1, 2, 3. I know nothing about. I know very little. I've watched a little bit of the anime when I was a kid. Sentinels, the Masters. They have all these Robotech archives, and I know nothing about these series. Here's trade paperbacks. So I mean, they're obviously coming out with a lot of this stuff via Titan Comics. Titan Comics is also releasing the old Conan content. They got the Conan license, and they're putting out further issues of the Savage Sword of Conan in omnibus format, which is great stuff. Like we're actually getting into the era where my friends Gary Quappitz and Chuck Dixon were writing and drawing, respectively. Not Chuck Dixon was writing, but the other way around. And that's it. So it's interesting. So get Macross first. So should I read all of these guys? Robotech's worth the read all the way through. Is it worth it, or do I just watch the anime? That's the good question. I'm interested to know about that. I don't know. I don't know enough about this. So don't know enough about this at all. But I found it to be interesting. So read Macross first. Okay. I'll check into it. I'll see what happens. Gosh, Drake ordered all of it. He was down. You're better off watching the anime. It's just the anime in comic form. So okay. So these are just adaptations. Is the Baron book also an adaptation of the anime? Or is it his own original story? What's the question mark with this? I'm not an expert on this stuff. Like I said, I just saw Mike Baron's name on it, so I was interested. I don't know. Yes, it is just an adaptation. Okay, so maybe I'll just watch the anime. Maybe I'll get the Mike Baron version though. The other thing I saw that was interesting was this. I got this. This isn't a comic, but it's close. You know, it's got some illustrations to it. This is Love Like Fallen Petals, and this is a Kickstarter for a Japanese translation of some romance novel, which is very interesting to me. This looks cute. Well, let's play the trailer for this so we can.
この作品は、ラブストーリーなんですけれども、美容師の、女の子とカメラマンを目指す、男の子の恋のお話です。で、二人は出会って恋をしていくんですけれども、その中で、ただ、彼女、ヒロインの方が、人の何十倍もの速さで年老いてしまう病を発症してしまう、います。海外という日本とはまた違う文化の中で生活する人たちに読んでいただいて、どのように感じてくださるのかというのは今から非常に楽しみですし、海外の多くの方々にこの作品が届くことが今から楽しみでなりません。
All right. Cool. Hello everybody who's just coming in now. Welcome. Talking comics and stuff. I'm going to get I don't like to read on PDF, so I'll get this one. I kind of want this variant edition. I don't know that I want to pay extra $5 for a variant of a novel though. Should I put my novels on Kickstarters and do variant covers? That's interesting as a thought too. I guess I could do that. I don't know that I do like this art though with the whole like cherry blossom tree. I'm gonna do it. F it. $5. I'm gonna take this off the screen so I don't dox my credit card. Oh my gosh. How did we go from Robotech to this? I don't know. It's all Japanese stuff, right? That's what it is. All right. So let's I backed this. Cool. Have crazy dust jackets. Yeah, I could do that. That'd be pretty fun. There's some cool stuff on Kickstarter right now. We just backed yesterday. If you watch the main channel, this is Tyler Drawn Talks Super Plumber Sisters. He's crushing it. Look at that. 190 backers in 2 days. So it's a Mario parody. It's really cute. And I was looking at that. But then Mike Baron's also got a Kickstarter, which is Bronze Star, which is like a Western sort of deal here. And he's crushing it too. So beautiful stuff. I got to back this too before I forget. Let me take this off the screen again. Oh, geez. I'll get the cover A. All right. Boom. Backed. A lot of Kickstarter stuff's doing pretty well right now that I'm enjoying. But Bronze Star looks pretty cool. Yeah, so I've seen the Zelda Twilight Princess ones. Like they look really well done. Really well done. Now, are those just like, do they copy the video game plot, or do they make a new plot out of them, or like how does it actually work? I don't know. Be interested in knowing a little bit more about that too. But I got to working on a bunch of stuff also this last week. So we're cranking up our output again. We took a little break. It was a time where I needed to take a little break from getting output out there. But now I'm in the middle of the second Ayla Rin novel, and if you guys missed that, that is going to be, show you the first one. Second Ayla Rin novel. So last year I did if you guys back this and did not leave a review on Amazon, please do so. Leave a review because you read it. You're entitled to leave a review. That helps the ratings on Amazon and all that, so people can find this and pick it up. And last year I did Overmind. Now Overmind is a comic book. And do I have a copy over here? I don't know if I have a copy on me. Doesn't look like it. I started a science fiction universe in comics, and it's a lot of fun. I didn't put the comic up on Amazon. I found that is not actually helpful towards the business to do that. But I put the novel up there because Amazon's all about novels and all that. And so I did something for the first time ever in my business, which was to have a comic and a novel in the same universe. And rather than tell the same story with the comic and the novel, I opted to tell a different story with the characters, like one that's meant for the novel, one that's meant for the comics. And so this like continues her adventure. So you get a lot of content and a lot of in-depth look at the Ayla Rin character because of this, a little more than you'd get if you just had a comic book by itself. And so this did really well, made us over $40,000, over 650 backers on this, which is our best to date. And, I'm working on book 2 of both of these. So the comic, the first book was called Overmind, which is the comic. This is the Immortal Edge, which is the actual novel. And then it's going to follow this continuity wise in sequence. So the comic first, then the graphic novel, or then the novel. Then there's going to be another comic called The Hidden Emperor, which we're about a third done drawing right now out of it. And probably early next year for a crowdfund for that. And then the novel I'm actually working on, the second one, is called Into the Black. So there's going to be a whole slew of books in this setting come next year, which is pretty great. And on top of that, I'm talking about spinning things off. So if you read this book, there's a group of space pirates in this. I don't remember. I mean, you get a lot of art, so you might have, but you can send it again. The space pirates, like, I'm thinking about spinning off into their own series too. I'll call it Pirates of the Galactic Main when I do that. And then I'm also talking about doing a series of Space Marine battles. Also, just do a military sci-fi, straightforward sort of thing, like and if you got secret agents in space, you got Space Marines in space, and you've got pirates in space. You got creepy aliens. You kind of got a setting that's very open and broad, like Warhammer, and that's what I'm actually trying to develop here at this point. So that is our goal with this series, and it's going really well so far. So I'm about 1/6 done with the novel and about 1/3 done with the comic for the next installment of these, because I get a lot of asks about that. The other thing I've been putting up, people have been asking me to go on fundmycomic.com with my books. And so I'm doing a test of this. And so let me log in real quick. I'll show you. Whoops. Why do you have to agree to the terms of service every time you log in? So I'm making a campaign for this, for Flying Sparks, the companion volume. I've not shown anybody this yet. So this is the first time this is being shown. And this is, you can see that it's going to have cover art by Mike S. Miller, who did Metagirl here, which is great. That's going to be very popular. And the companion volume is comprised of 3 issues. Hey, Hex Allen, good to see you. Grey Wolf, what's up? The companion volume is going to have 3 issues to it. And that it has the issue number 0. You might have read these if you were following along either on my Subscribe Star or in the single issue form. But this is going to have issue 0 of Flying Sparks, which has the origin of Meta Girl. It has a prequel short to how Chloe met Johnny, which is a big portion of the book, of course. And then it has a Dynamite Thor crossover, because I have another comic book called Dynamite Thor. And so that's in here in issue number 0. And then I've got a Flying Sparks Punchline, Unleash the Kraken, where Chloe fights a Kraken. And then I've got the Metaman Special, which is a far distant past prequel featuring Metaman. So I'm putting this into one volume called Flying Sparks, the Companion Volume. And I'm going to exclusively put this out on Fund My Comic as soon as I start shipping volume 5 out to people. So that way you can get in on this here. So we'll just, very simple tier. If you missed volume 1, there's volume 1. We got the Companion Volume. This is going to be the one with the Mike Miller cover right here. We got the complete Flying Sparks, which includes the Companion Volume now. And by the way, this is pretty discounted. So all the books will be discounted except for the Companion Volume in this one. So if you've not read this series, great way to get in. And I've got my complete comics, which is going to then include all my other 5 graphic novels, also kind of discounted. So this is going to be a good way for you to catch up on my comic book universes right here when this goes live. And pretty soon we're going to be launching this. I know I have a lot of projects, and this is what differentiates me from a lot of other people in the space. I'm actually really pushing as a writer. If you look at like writers in comics, they're doing something new every month. They're doing something different every month. It's not just like you come out with a book once a year as a hobby or whatever. I'm trying to write at the speed of like the actual professionals out there and get you content on that level. That's what we're doing around here. And so we've got this. We've got, of course, the Ayla Rin coming out. And then I've got the Crystal Conspiracy, my next novel, which is for pre-order on Amazon right now. And this is going to be out next week. And this is the follow-up of my steampunk series. This is my most popular series right here. It's fantasy steampunk. And we've got this going right here, which, a girl inherits the airship in the first book. She goes on a like adventure that's very Edgar Rice Burroughs old pulp style in the second. Book 3 is just like a knockdown, drag out war. Book 4 adds like a bunch of political complications to things. Book 5 follows her best friend James, because people were asking for him to be expanded as a character through his adventures, and that all Book 5 actually weaves throughout these 4 books. So you actually follow him in between things. There's a lot of continuity addition there, and then Book 6 here, like a new war is escalated, started in Book 4, and this is going to expand upon that and also bring some cool ancient technology to our universe, where it's going to get pretty interesting. Now, I have a lot of plans for the future of this series and developing from further on. So we'll see how this goes. I'm real excited for this book. It is probably the best novel I've ever written. I think so. You'll have to tell me once it comes out next week. But you can pre-order it right now. It comes out on Thursday. We'll do a special stream on that on Thursday also. And I appreciate you guys for supporting that. Now, this all ties into even more projects. If you guys were confused yet as to what you want to actually pick up, I've got a Subscribe Star, and on Subscribe Star, I'm going to be releasing several different things. Now, I'm working on a short comic, 8 pages, with the artist of Flying Sparks Volume 5. He's going to be doing a James story with his steampunk mech, which actually ties into my book universe there. So I'm dipping my toes into comics for that series and seeing how that's going to go before we go further with that. I'm doing a secondary series called the Department of Extrasensory Investigations. It's like an X-Files sort of thing where they're out investigating conspiracies involving like psychic and telekinetic sort of events that are happening all over the world. And that's going to be releasing exclusively on here. I've also got a short story for a new super team that I'm developing right now, which is going to be releasing exclusively on here. And so we have a lot of stuff in the pipeline, and it's going to be a lot of fun this year if you're following along with this kind of content. So I appreciate you guys for doing so. The subscribe stars are really what I want to build up because like everything releases on here, all the crowd funds, all the novels, all the exclusive stuff's coming out on here. And I'd love to have this be its like own self-sustaining ecosystem at some point to where it's like, and I need about 10 times the subscribers right now to do that. But once we get there, this will really be able to cook as its own thing too. And that's where all my stuff's at right now. So I'm excited to actually get to work on a lot of this stuff today and everything else. So if there's any questions on that, let me know. But beyond that, let's see. We're just cooking along. I'm putting in my previews order for the week or for the month rather, for whatchamacallit. What do you call it? For September, October is when those will be coming out. I've actually just got it on a Word document right here. So I'll be getting Blade of the Immortal. This is what I'm going to be ordering if you're curious. Blade of the Immortal Deluxe Edition 10, I think. Do I already have that? Hold on. Deluxe Edition 5, 6, 8, 4, 3. Looks like I do need 10 still. So 10 has not come out yet. Okay. I think that's the end of it, as I recall. Blade of the Immortal is really good. I'm going to be launching the Fund My Comic book as soon as I start fulfilling volume 5 of Flying Sparks. So that's when that'll go up. Thank you for the interest. Brandon Sanderson, White Sand Omnibus. Now, that's really cool. Brandon Sanderson had a novel called White Sand, which he wrote way back in the day, and he never released it. And you could get it for a while before he got too big. You could email him and talk to him. He was actually very accessible. I don't know if he still is. But you could ask him, hey, Brandon, I'm interested in seeing your White Sand novel. And he'd send you a Word document with it. And he's like, I don't know if I'm ever going to release this. Here you go. It's just for educational purposes. It's like, cool. And I never ended up reading it because I hate reading online. But then he started releasing this. Somebody actually adapted it into comics for him. And they're coming out with a full omnibus version of that at this point for the complete story. So I'm excited for that. I like Brandon Sanderson's fantasy a lot. They're doing a why am I like not showing these? I show you the art of these and it looks way cooler. So let's Brandon Sanderson White Sand omnibus. Yeah, show don't tell. Why am I showing you just like text? This is a live stream. So this is it right here. So pretty cool. I'm interested in this for sure. And it's not too bad. It's only $45 for like a omnibus, hardcover omnibus, and 500 pages. Pretty cool. Well, it's $75 retail. That's the trick of this stuff. The next thing I'm going to get is going to be PS Art Books is now re-releasing The Spirit, Golden Age, The Spirit. And I guess the question mark, guys, is going to be for me. They have a Spirit Archives already, which I missed, and they're out of print. They're hard to find. And Will Eisner, of course, did some of the coolest pulp stuff with The Spirit. If you're not familiar with this, this is some of the greatest comics of all time. It's being done by PS Art Books now. PS Art Books is a really good company that does these fine versions. So the question mark, guys, is should I just get the hardcover at $39.74, or should I spend an extra $7 and get a slipcase for that hardcover for this? I'm kind of leaning to just the hardcover. I'm not really super into slipcases. To tell you what a slipcase is, if you don't know, literally a slipcase. So if you've got a book, this is the slipcase, right? But for $7, do I really need that for a Spirit Archive? I don't know. I mean, it's kind of cool. It makes it the best, most elitist version of it, which is kind of nice. But I don't know. What do you think? Should I get the slipcase or should I get the regular book? I highly recommend getting the Spirit Archives as they come out. I think this is some important comics history right here. But I don't know which version to get. I don't know. So, here it is. The Spirit as a masked crime fighter who fights crime with the blessings of the city's police commissioner, Dolan, an old friend. Despite the Spirit's origin as a detective, His real identity was rarely referred to after the first appearance. Yeah, so he just rolls through. He's much like the Shadow. He just kind of shows up and fights crime, right? Hardcover is nice enough. Yeah, I'm probably just going to go with the hardcover. I'm very happy for that. Next up, I'm going to be getting, Batman Eternal Omnibus. Look at it. Batman and Robin Eternal Omnibus. I don't know. I have every Batman omnibus, and so I'm not super thrilled with this because it's modern. But I'm probably gonna get it anyway. And then I'm gonna get the Wonder Woman Silver Age Omnibus Volume 2, which is 1960s Wonder Woman. So prior to all this stuff, that's gonna be the next sort of thing here. And then we're gonna get into Epic Collections. And this gets pretty interesting. So the next Avengers Epic Collection is 167 to 188, and it's actually written by Jim Shooter and David Michelinie. So this is with George Perez and John Byrne drawing. So this is cool stuff. Avengers really gets good at this juncture, and so I'm really excited to read this. This is something that, like, it's, there's Marvel ages as far as this goes. Like, Stan Lee did some cool creative stuff at the very beginning, and then he kind of handed the reins over to like Roy Thomas and Gary Conway. And Roy Thomas did a pretty good job with Avengers, but they really, you got the White Sands Omni. It's good, cool. Yeah, the Spirit's gonna be cool. I've read the Darwin's Cook Spirit. It's very good. I have that in hardcover. It's excellent. But Marvel went through a period after that where they really tried to stagnate the characters and they just kind of rehashed stories. And then they came out of it like in the late 70s, early 80s. And that's kind of what we're getting into right here. And it was like a rebirth of like cool new stuff. And this is where John Byrne and George Perez really shine. I'm very excited for that. And then more Epic Collections, of course, because I get every Epic Collection. Here's Ghost Rider Vengeance Reborn. And this is from the 90s. So Ghost Rider, there's a new character of Ghost Rider, Danny Ketch, and here it is. It happens right here, and so I'll be reading this. I haven't read a lot of Ghost Rider, but I should. I mean, going and like fighting demons and stuff is pretty good. Then next is a Hawkeye Epic Collection from the late 80s, early 90s. Now, Hawkeye didn't have his own book, but there was a book called Solo Avengers, and Hawkeye was a part of that. And so here it is. Tom DeFalco actually wrote a bunch of these issues, and I love Tom DeFalco, as you know. So that's going to be part of my order as well. And then there's a pretty cool thing here from John Byrne also. John Byrne went back at one point and actually did his own book on what happened between the X-Men, like original Stan Lee stuff, and when Chris Claremont took over. And it was called X-Men: The Hidden Years, and this is it right here. So I'm going to be getting this omnibus also. Really good stuff. And that's going to be my order for the month. These all come out kind of like October, November, and some cool stuff for the comics right now. But I'm most excited about the Brubaker book coming out next week. And my book coming out next week, of course. So that's it. That's all my comics talk for the day. I didn't really prepare anything. I just kind of like was going through my DCBS order with this and just like, I could actually just talk about this on air and why I'm getting these books. And that could be kind of interesting. And then talk about my own books a little bit. So I hope you enjoyed that, my friends. And I hope this was fun for you. And we'll be back a little bit later. We don't need to belabor this more than like 30 minutes, a little extra content for the week. And please subscribe if you're new to the channel. I really appreciate you guys being there. Of course, check out my book links in the description below. I've got a new book, The Crystal Conspiracy, coming out next week. I've got Flying Sparks up for pre-order. If you want to catch up on Flying Sparks before the Fund My Comic companion is going to be coming up. All the books are right here. I'm going to be shipping these out like right away. If you just want book 1, I can ship this out literally now. Actually, books 1 through 4, I can ship out right now. And then book 5, I ordered the proof print copy. You always do that, so you make sure the book's actually printed correctly before you do the print run. And so that should be to me next week, and then we'll be doing the full run within the month. So we'll look to do the Fund My Comics sometime early July, probably. Maybe even next week. I don't know. Maybe I'll launch it next week. I'm feeling itchy for selling some more Flying Sparks. I think more people need to read this. And so exciting stuff all the way around. And of course, I mentioned my Subscribestar, where there's going to be a lot of exclusive content, including a brand new comic, which is going to be releasing only on here, a bunch of short comics, which are coming out for new properties, which I already talked about. And then I'm going to be writing a Zorro serial novel, which is going to be just taking place right after the first novel of Zorro, which is a public domain property. And I'm going to be taking it from there. What's interesting about Zorro in the original deal, the book was it was a finished story. So Zorro revealed his identity to the world at the end. Spoiler alert for a book from 1918. It's called The Curse of Capistrano. Curse of Cap. This is it, guys. So the original novel here, it originally showed up in this it's in All Star Weekly, as you can see. Look at this. What a cool. Oh gosh, she's got a gun. Superheroes aren't supposed to have guns. So cool. Look at that art. Beautiful pulp art from the early 1900s. Spoiler alert from 1918. Yes. So Zorro was fighting against like this evil like captain who's trying to like oppress everybody, and then try to make sure the people are all taken care of here. And he's also trying to get this girl throughout the whole novel, and she's going back and forth between him and the evil captain. Of course, the Don Diego kind of acts like a fop, right? And so he doesn't reveal himself as Zorro. And so they all think he's kind of a loser. And so her father doesn't want her to marry Don Diego. He wants her to marry the upstanding captain. But eventually he unveils and reveals the conspiracy that's going on there, and gets the girl, and then reveals himself to the world. He's like, I'm Zorro and I'm Don Diego. And everybody's like, oh, you're upstanding Don Diego. And how you're Zorro. You must be an okay guy on Time Books. And so he does that, and it really ends. He gets the girl, he reveals his identity to the world, and then it's over. And then this was very popular, so he just started writing more Zorro stories. And he ignored the fact that this ended like this. So he is just a superhero with a hidden identity, just going through all these stories, like as the new extra stories go on, and they just don't reference the end of this. Like there's no continuity involved in this, whatever, from John McCulley, who's the writer. He just kept writing Zorro stories, like as if like, and every one of them happens as if the other ones never happened. It's just a new Zorro story. Very interesting way of doing things. Like, of course, they don't do that anymore. Everything's like very anally continuity these days, or multiverse, right? Which I hate. I hate the multiverse crap. But I'm going to actually take this novel, which is public domain, and I'm going to write a direct sequel that takes place after this. So he is known as Zorro, and he's going to have his identity revealed, and that's going to be where my serial starts off. So I'm going to have continuity with this because this is the public domain property, and Zorro is going to continue its adventures from here based on this book. So that's what we're going to do on the Subscribestar with the serial here. I think that's a lot of fun. I've wanted to do this for a long time, so I've just never kind of gotten around to it. And I was trying to actually get the people who had the license to publish it and all that. And then they kind of screwed around on me, so I'm just going to do it myself. That's what it comes down to. I don't waste time with publishers and stuff like that. I just do it myself because that's the indie mindset at this point. So yeah, good stuff. And to get this, let's see. Get this book. To get the original one, Curse of Capistrano. Let's see. Who's this by? There's a press that like comes out with these. And they're called, who are these? Who are these people? They're called, what are they called? It doesn't say. This is amazing. I'm trying to find it for you. Bold Venture. Okay. Bold Venture Publishing. I'm going down a rabbit hole of pulp for you guys now. So here it is. They have a bunch of stuff here, and they have this is what I got back in the day. These still are out there. Zorro the Complete Pulp Adventures Volume 1. And so I got this. I'll put this link in the chat for you. So if you want to read the original, this has the first novel, and then it's got a couple of the different deals in here. So there's that. And there it is. So they did that. Pulp. It's got a couple of the short stories here, as you can see. The Mark of Zorro, which is actually the Curse of Capistrano. They retitled it. I don't know why. And then they've got a few volumes of all the original guys' stuff. Further Adventures of Zorro. This was the second novel, and then a couple more short stories as they go through this guy. And so there's let's see, there's 4 volumes of that, and then they did their own original like anthology books, which I'm not getting. Like I said, I pitched this to them. They told me yes back in the day, and then they kind of screwed around on me. So I don't know what happened with that. We would have sold a ton of books. Oh, well. Now we're just going to sell a ton of Subscribestar subscriptions. So they've got all of these. Zorro and the Deadly Homecoming. I mean, I don't know. Susan Kite. I don't know. One that's interesting here is that Peter David did write one, though. And I did not get this yet. I love Peter David, though. I'm going to be getting this at some point. So that's that. And that will be an interesting thing. Yeah, there's an interesting little press. They've got a ton of like vintage Volt through here. They're reprinting Edgar Rice Burroughs stuff. Oh, nothing yet. Okay. Men's Adventure magazines. Look at this. 15 Western Tales. This is from 1955. They just reprinted that. They've got what do they got here? Bunch of different, like, here's the Spider. Batman's kind of based on the Spider quite a bit. Just cool stuff. I mean, this is an interesting series books. Interesting little deal that they're going off on here. So it's a little rabbit hole to go down. I only care about the Zorro stuff though. Submissions. Maybe I'll fill this out again. Where'd they go? Contributor guidelines. Pulp Adventures. There you go. They have short story submissions too. All right. And that's that. So I'll be writing the Zorro thing, and I'm going to be putting up on my Subscribestar at the end of the day, though. I'm not gonna bother with these guys. And so please check it out. And I appreciate you guys being there. So thanks so much, guys, for tuning in to my live stream today. I hope you enjoyed this, going down these rabbit holes of different pulp content and comic books. I'll be back soon enough. So thank you so much. Hit the like and subscribe button if you're new here, and we'll see you soon.